Well, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Well, thank you all for coming out today. It's a special day. It's always great to be here. Nissan Stadium, it's a blessing and an honor to be before all of you today with this campaign. Being here at the Tennessee Titans Stadium, one of the things is, even though we're here, we know the new Taj Mahal will be going up across the street. Everybody's getting excited and ready to go for that. So we're all excited about having the new stadium, but it's a great opportunity to be here today to be able to talk about this program. For those of you who do not know, my name is Al Smith. I'm a former All-Pro linebacker with the Houston Oilers. I worked many years in the front office with the Tennessee Titans. I am now the president of the NFL Alumni Association. And with the Alumni Association, we're one of the oldest retired player organizations there are in professional sports. One of the missions is caring for our own, which is our alumni. We care for our alumni. We take care of our guys. We care for kids, taking care of kids, and taking care of the community. This is what brought us here today, is community. One of the things about community today gives us the opportunity to reach out to the community, and we were able to bring in an all-star team to be able to tackle the issues that our community has. I'd like to first of all introduce some of our ambassadors. For one, I'd like to introduce Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon. He's in the Titans Ring of Honor as well. I'd like to introduce All-Pro defensive end Javon Kearse. And I'd also like to introduce All-Pro offensive tackle Brad Hopkins. All these gentlemen will be coming up today to speak with everyone, but I'd like to acknowledge our other ambassadors who are great players in their own right. I'd like to introduce Delaney Walker. Delaney transcends the position of tight end with his versatility and athleticism. I'd like to introduce All-Pro quarterback Neil O'Donnell. Now, we let Neil in the house. He was a Steeler, but we had to break the barrier, but we let him in the fold because he came over later in his career. But Neil has been to the Super Bowl, has took many teams deep into the playoffs, and a great player, great ambassador, a great friend. We also have Chris Johnson, All-Pro running back. Now, Chris Johnson has been up and down these fields. His freaking fire miles is more than most of you guys in the air. He's going up and down the field. His miles are a second to none. We appreciate you, Chris, for being here as well. We'd like to introduce All-Pro safety Blaine Bishop. Blaine will hit anything that moves. So don't you guys make any sudden moves. You may get a flash. He could possibly get a flashback, and he may come back and get you guys. So he's still got a quick twitch, so be careful. Well, we appreciate having all these guys here with us today. We're very fortunate to have with us as well, with one of our partners with the Tennessee Department of Health, the Commissioner, Dr. Morgan McDonald, is with us. We're very blessed to have her, and her team is here as well. And we also have Metro Nashville's Deputy Mayor, Brenda Haywood, which is an all-star in her own right. When we talk about community, the reason we're here is because of Brenda. One of the reasons her and her community initiatives and the things that she has done for this community is bar none better than across the country, so we really appreciate her. I would also like to acknowledge Laura Cooper. This is Mayor Cooper's wife, our national mayor. So thank you, Laura, for being with us today. It's definitely a pleasure to have you with us as well today. One of the things about today, we're launching the Gear Up campaign. It is a statewide effort to raise awareness about COVID-19. Although a lot of people feel as though the virus has gone, the virus hasn't left. We got to take care of people to be able to look out for themselves, their families, and others. And a lot of times we forget about the others. A lot of people look at themselves and their families, but the others get affected by this disease as well. And it's basically by the unvaccinated. A lot of times when you get serious illness or death, it's because of the fact that you want to prevent that by taking the virus. By taking the vaccine. It gives you the opportunity to be able to be healthy for yourself, not only for yourself, but your family, your friends, and again, others. We want to encourage anyone with any questions or concerns about it to ask your healthcare provider. Your doctors can help you with those answers. We're going into these winter months. We're going into a time that's tough for everyone. A lot of the numbers aren't talked about a lot. As you can see, it's starting to kind of creep back up and being talked about. We're going into the winter months. That's usually when things spike. Going into the holidays, people are traveling. We have all these different things going on. So we really want people to take care of themselves and be able to take care of themselves in that way by getting vaccinated. Through this Gear Up campaign, the NFL Alumni hopes to educate underserved communities and really target them. And that's why we're here today. We want to target the communities that are underserved, who aren't looked at, who don't get the attention that they need, don't have the ability to do a lot of things that they need to do to become successful. So we want to target those communities in our city and throughout the state, and with the partners that we have with the health department and the partners that we have with the city, and be able to tackle this and using our ambassadors to be able to go to all parts of the state and all parts of the city and be able to get this message out to our community. And that's one of our main focuses. With that being said, I would like to introduce one of our great partners, Dr. Morgan McDonald, who is the commissioner of the health department. And I would like to have Morgan come up and speak on behalf of the Department of Health.
Now that's a real ambassador. I can't tell you how thrilled we are as the Tennessee Department of Health to be partnering with the alumni players, Tennessee chapter here. There are truly giants in this room, both literally and figuratively, and can't tell you how much we appreciate your voices in the health of our community as we are truly striving to engage communities across the spectrum here in Tennessee. And some may ask us, why now? Why launch a particular COVID message right now? And I'll say it's partly because we've got a lot to celebrate. We are largely back to normal, and that is largely because of the vaccine. It's been, many people don't realize, 2 years since this vaccine has rolled out. We've had 10 million doses that have that Tennesseans have rolled up their sleeves to receive. And at the same time, we know that this virus is constantly mutating. So as we're heading into a holiday season where we're going to be seeing friends and family, we do encourage you to go ahead and get that vaccine and to get the booster. Only 5% of Tennesseans have gotten that bivalent booster. Now is the time to get that booster. We know that that adds extra protection for you, for your family, for your community members. So again, can't thank enough the ambassadors in this room, and I truly appreciate the work that y'all are doing. Looking forward to ongoing partnerships in a number of different areas. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. McDonald. We're very, very, very excited about the partnership we have with them going forward. It's great for the state of Tennessee, great for the alumni, and great for everyone involved. Next up, we have a man who needs no introduction. He's a leader on and off the field. He's a teammate. He's a leader. He's a mentor. The incomparable Warren Moon.
Incomparable, huh? Wow, that's hard to follow. First of all, good morning to everyone, and I want to first thank the media for being here today, because whenever you have something you want to bring awareness to, like we're trying to bring awareness to COVID-19 and being vaccinated, you need the media in order to spread the word, because we can only do so much with our voices. But with you guys being here with your print and your cameras and that's going to help spread the word around this state that people need to go out and get themselves vaccinated. I'm sure you're wondering why me, of all people, who's never played a game in this stadium, would be here today, but my history is here as far as what I did with the Houston Oilers and all that was brought over here. I've been very involved in the organization since. Amy's become a very good friend and has gotten me involved in a lot of other things off the field. And I have friends and family all over the state of Tennessee, so it's a concern to me that people make sure they get vaccinated. I myself have been vaccinated. I'm at that age now at 66 years old. I have to worry about those types of things. I have a mother who's 95 years old right now, and I want to be able to keep her around here as long as I possibly can. So we made sure she was vaccinated, made sure I was vaccinated, and everybody else in our family, so we could spend time with her, because we don't want to take who knows how much time she has left in her life being isolated away from her because we didn't get ourselves protected. So that's what our message is to the state of Tennessee, is to make sure you get out there and gear up and get protected. Because all these players who are here today and up here on the head table, we went out to play football with a helmet. We went out there to play with shoulder pads, with knee pads, thigh pads. We went out there protected to play. Did that guarantee us we weren't going to get hurt? No, it didn't, but it definitely helped us as far as making sure we didn't get hurt as seriously as we probably could. So that's what we're going to ask the people of Tennessee to do, is just to make sure they're getting protected out there. Getting vaccinated doesn't guarantee you're not going to get COVID-19, but it does lessen your opportunities of getting deathly sick or even dying. And we know that over 1 million people in this country have died from COVID-19 over the last so many years, but we also know that there's been like 600 million doses, all over the country. So the country's doing a great job of getting vaccinated, but the numbers are down in Tennessee, and we want to bring those numbers up. And that's why we're going to lend our voices, and hopefully our voices and the coverage of the media will help make that happen. So I appreciate you guys all being out here, especially thanks to the guys who are involved in the program. Hopefully your voices will be heard, and I look forward to hearing your questions later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Warren. Warren probably has his deep ball is probably as tight as half the league right now. Some of these guys can't throw as pretty a pass as Warren today. He can probably go out there and put it in the air. So Warren still has his arm. Well, next up we have a person who many of you know. He's a legend in his own right. He's one of the best players that ever put on a Titan uniform. When I called him and I said, "Would you like to be a part of this program?" First thing he said was, "Sign me up, coach." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna put you in the game." He said, "Well, put me in the game." So I'd like to introduce the great Javon Curse.
Oh, man. Thanks, Al. Uncle Al, a.k.a. Big Brother Al. All right, guys. I must say it is a privilege and honor to be here working with some of my fellow Titans, the NFL alumni, and the Tennessee Department of Health in this important effort. And personally, I feel like I can speak for all the players in here today when I say that as professional athletes, we take our health and wellness, I would say somewhat very seriously. Yeah, I would say very seriously. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we are all in control of what goes into our bodies, and we all understand the importance of having protection on and off the field. What'd you say? On and off the field protection? Yeah, that was pretty good, whatever. Right? And then with that said, that's why I chose to get vaccinated. I want to be healthy. I still love to travel, and then that became a big part of traveling was people being vaccinated, and I want to enjoy life, you know? That's big. That's big right there. Being able to travel, enjoy life, and a lot of that stuff has been affected by people getting COVID or not having the vaccine, right? Okay, so yeah, and so like it's I mean, you know what? Like in my personal life, like it's not the immediate impact of COVID. It's the lasting effects of COVID. Right now, I have two people in my life right now who are still dealing with lingering COVID effects, and they got infected over a year ago. And they're still dealing with not having taste or smell, and I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for anyone. And especially with the holidays coming around, everyone's going to be traveling, visiting loved ones, gathering around loved ones. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's about protecting yourself and your loved ones from the COVID virus. Yeah. Yes. And like when I think about it, you know, sometimes it's like being around, I don't know, I sometimes think about this, I don't know if it's just me, but I think about being around someone without having the vaccine. It was kind of like me playing football without wearing a helmet. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had my share of injuries, but if I didn't wear a helmet and pads, those injuries would have been a lot worse. A lot worse. So, with that said, if I was to get COVID without having that extra protection as well, I know the outcome could be a lot worse as well. So that's just a risk I'm not willing to take for myself or my family either. And I do understand this COVID thing it's old. A lot of people want to move on from COVID, but unfortunately, COVID is here. It hasn't gone anywhere, so it's up to us to figure out how to live with this and how to deal with it. With that said, that's why we are urging all Tennesseans to gear up. So please talk to your doctor and protect yourself and your family from the COVID-19.
Thank you, Javon. You guys think Javon could have got a sack this past weekend? I think so. I think he would have went out there and helped the team out. He got close to the quarterback. But that's another story. That's another story. We get that on another side. Well, next up, we have a guy who transcends the sport, the position, offensive tackle. When he came into the league, we all, it was young. When we see all the guys that develop, when they came in as rookies and develop into the men that they are today, I'm proud to see how this young man has developed into who he is today. And not only he's a great player, he's a great friend, and he was a great teammate. I'd like to introduce to you our pro offensive tackle, Brad Hopkins.
How about our host? Big Al coming with the comedy. Let the church say amen. The church say amen again. Brenda. Me and Brenda go way back. We did some food tasting down there and Taste of Bellevue. Got us some good snacks. And having a good time. Listen, it's great to be here with obviously the NFL Alumni Association and being here part of the Tennessee Department of Health. It's huge to help Tennesseans get geared up for COVID. So we just want to be here to help individuals make informed decisions. So like Javon said just a few minutes ago, talk to your doctor if you've got questions. Obviously it's a very polarizing conversation, people getting vaccinated, but those health professionals are there to answer any questions that you have. So, story time. COVID hit, 2019 started to hit. I remember my oldest, Bryson, who's playing for the Rams right now, he got sick. We didn't know what it was. He was knocked down. It really wasn't as publicized as it is now. 2020 rolls around and we start to see the effects and people start to acknowledge the fact that we do have a pandemic on our hands, okay? And here we are now 3 years later, and just before Thanksgiving, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I went and worked out, had some physical therapy I had to do. I had my knee replaced in July, so I'm going to physical therapy. And really cool guy named Paul Matura down there at, I guess called Benchmark. Throw it out there in case you guys need some physical therapy. But anyway, he has 2 twins. One of them's a Downs baby, and also it has some debilitative heart conditions. So it's really, really touchy. So he's got the mask on. He's barely coming to work because he really wants to protect his child, of course. And after I left his office, I went home and took a shower after my workout, and I just felt depleted. I was done, like, tired. I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna take a nap. I literally slept on my wife's lap for 4 hours. Okay. Started to feel the effects of the flu. I was like, man, I'm starting to get this bug or whatever else. But I started to feel better by the next day. So I went over to my parents' house. My parents live in the next subdivision. That's by design because I'm just a family guy like that. I moved my mom and dad down here when the Titans moved here to Nashville. Moved my folks here to Nashville too. And it's very important for me to have family time with my folks. And I'm serving the turkey, doing all kinds of great stuff, Got my brother, my kids, my sister, everybody's having a great time. Then the next day, I couldn't taste that second plate of Thanksgiving. And I started to think, I was like, man, I can't taste anything. And this has never happened to me before. Let me go ahead and take a test. Sure enough, the thing came back positive. Now, the bad thing about it was, not only was it bad for me and how it knocked me down, but my dad has had 3 strokes, and he's paralyzed on his right side. He's pretty much using a walker and sometimes a wheelchair when necessary. And my mom calls me and she says, Brad, I need you to come over here and help get your dad off the floor of the bathroom. I said, what's going on? She's like, he's just too weak to get off the floor. He's tired. There's something going on with him. So got him off the floor, took his temperature, it was 103 temperature. We took him into the hospital. He had COVID and he had strep. So he's already, like a high risk because he's got high blood pressure, cholesterol levels are out the roof. I mean, my mom takes in a bag of medicine whenever she goes in to see the doctor just so they know exactly what he's taking. I'm talking about a bag. So that just shows you how high risk my father is. And since COVID came out, we thought about making sure that my dad was safe because of his condition. And to think, because I was sitting there thinking about later on, how did I give it to him? How did I give him COVID? I got a massage Monday, the Monday before Thanksgiving. Not even thinking about the young lady who was giving me the massage, coughing and even telling me that she's just back from being sick. Not with COVID, she didn't know what she was sick with. She just said she'd been out. Didn't even think about it. I could have gave it to Paul, who could have gave it to his mother or to his daughter, who obviously is dealing with some stuff. She's not even 4 months old. I gave it to my dad. I gave it to my son. Gave it to my wife. All from a massage. This is 2023 about to round the corner. It ain't going anywhere. So that's why it's important to at least get those questions answered that you do have about COVID. Because we all do need to be vaccinated in some form or fashion. Now, I got to admit it. I got vaccinated the first time because I wanted to be able to work. And some of us can relate, right? You can't go to work if you're not vaccinated. Well, that was the case for me. So I just went ahead and did it. Thankfully, I did, maybe because the effects of COVID didn't hit me near as bad as they could have because I was vaccinated. My dad's vaccinated, boosted as well, but it doesn't guarantee you, just like Warren and Javon were saying, that you will not get it. But it's better to have some sort of defense than to not have some sort of defense. So that's my personal story and how it affected me. So everyone here might have a story. You're talking about the lingering effects. There are some things that I still can't taste. It's a blessing though, because I hate olives. My wife likes to sprinkle olives, so she be putting stuff in my food. So some things I'm cool with not eating. She's always on this green kick. Spinach. You gotta have spinach and everything. Well, I'm glad I can't taste spinach. Either way, you guys understand exactly what I'm saying, okay? So get the questions answered. We'll be here to answer a few more questions from you, but do all you can to at least be a part of this campaign that the Tennessee Department of Health and the NFL Alumni Association have here for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Brad. We really appreciate that.
You're welcome, Al.
Hey, you guys know, as teammates, we'll be 100 years old and we're still going at each other, so don't worry about that. Well, next up, you guys have heard from all the All-Stars. You have All-Stars obviously out in the audience. Well, this next person is a true All-Star. She's an All-Star in the community. She's a legend in the community. She's on the ground roots in the community. She has touched so many lives and so many people that we had to come together. God brought us together. I really believe that, because when we crossed paths, our vision just took off together as far as the conversation that we had, the vision that she had, the vision that I had. we were able to come together. I'd like to bring up all-star, amongst our stars, Deputy Mayor Brenda Haywood.
First of all, I would just like to say thank you for the opportunity to be here, Al. I just really don't have the words. And like Al articulated, a mutual friend brought us together. And I said, well, why do you want me to meet this guy? I was really busy. He says, Haywood, because he loves doing things in the community, and you do too. And he says, you know how you are about God. God just told me you all need to meet each other. So I go and meet this guy, and we start talking, and I'm always talking about the Lord. I'm a retired teacher and ordained minister, and I'm led by the Holy Spirit. And thank you so much, Hopkins, for opening up with a devotion. I just thank you so much. I just feel like you opened the church doors up and made me feel just really comfortable. And then, Javon, thank you for having such a beautiful sense of humor. But anyway, we have this initiative within the mayor's office, and it's called Communities of Color. And that's where we try to enhance lives through the impact of resources, education, and all the things they would need to give you a positive answer when you ask him, would you like to be vaccinated? And a lot of times there are a lot of misconceptions a lot of misconceptions when it comes to the vaccine. And we're trying to dispel, we are attempting, and that's where we need you are, to dispel those non-truths. So that's what Al and I have talked about. And Al said, I think we're going to do something great in this community, and I'm almost finished. Mayor Cooper said, yeah, let's do this, Haywood. Communities of color, get people that are marginalized vaccinated. And that's why Laura Cooper is here today, because we all work together to make sure that we impact lives as it relates to the COVID vaccine. And I just want you to know, when Al called me, he said, we're starting this program. It's called Gear Up, and the Titans are going to be a part of it. And he was so enthusiastic. And he said, would you please come along with all you're doing in this area and be a part of it? And I said, unequivocally, count me in. I was really excited. I was excited coming here and meeting all the guys today. I even called my grandson out. He had he had a exam today. I said, no, you got to come, you got to come. And so I didn't, raise your hand, son. I said, come and help. And but there's so many people that are helping me. But I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're just ready to get started. I got Scott here and Linda Hopper. They assist me in the mayor's office, and we have other people. But we're excited. I feel like I've talked too long. We have 2 or 3 minutes, and my son-in-law is back there, and he played for, I think, 2 minutes. I think he played professional football, but then he got hurt. But anyway, hey, this show is on, about 2 minutes. Maybe it was 3 minutes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless each and every one of you real, real good. And we're getting not only geared up, we're fired up. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Deputy Mayor. We really appreciate the comments. We really appreciate the partnerships. We really appreciate the media being here, all the ambassadors, all the guests. This Gear Up campaign is very important to us. It's very important to the community, and I think with our help, we can help bring down these numbers. And if we do it together, these numbers will come down. It always takes one. You bring it back home to your family. It starts with yourself, to your family, and to others. A lot of time, others get left out. So I like to put the others in there as well, because just like Brad was an other from the massage therapist, you became an other, Brad. You know that, right? He was an other, so we got to protect each other. You have to protect yourself, within that, and look out for each other. At this point, at this point in the program, we'd like to open it up to questions for any of the panelists, any of the players, any questions that you may have, and they can answer any questions that you may have in particular. Yes. Could you stand up? What's your name?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Tues. I'm a representative with the NAACP of Nashville. Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask a question. It's also my birthday today.
Happy birthday. Yeah, okay.
I'm grateful to be here with all of you and to represent the NAACP Nashville branch. There are a number of folks in our community who are curious about the ways in which the COVID-19 impact and also flu and RSV and some of these interloping, interconnected viruses are interacting. Is there anything that we can do, in addition to getting vaccinated both for flu and COVID, to protect ourselves? You know, I still see a lot of folks walking around who have their masks on underneath their nose.
Okay.
What can we do to encourage folks to take those additional precautions and steps that we can take to make sure that we're protecting ourselves in this time?
Well, we'll refer that to Dr. McDonald and let her speak on that.
Thank you. Is this on? Okay, great. Thank you, and I appreciate the work of the NAACP as well in reaching communities that have been disproportionately affected by COVID. Protecting ourselves is a multi-step process, and certainly vaccination, as you mentioned, both for COVID-19 as well as for flu. And then big message, stay home if you're sick. So just back to our massage therapist story. She didn't know what she had. She wasn't feeling quite right. Stay home, whether that's from school, whether that's from visiting family, from work if you need to, because that protects the others as well as your family. And then certainly we go back to those hygiene messages, washing hands, and certainly if you've been sick, wearing a mask. And there's good personal protection in that N95 or KN95 masks. If you have your own health concerns that you're concerned about, or concerned about spreading the virus as well, we know that's effective. So thank you for the question.
Thank you. Yes, Delaney.
Do the flu shot would hurt us if we got the flu shot and the COVID shot?
It will not. It will help you if you get the flu shot and the COVID shot. And so, yes, we've had my own family members flu and COVID shots at the same time. They did all right. So,
Neil.
Is the first booster that came out, you highly recommend now the second booster Omicron, even
yes.
if you, knock on wood, really have no serious health issues?
Absolutely, and I really appreciate that question. There's been a lot of confusion about, well, another booster, what's that? And this bivalent booster, that means two types of coverage there. So both of the native COVID virus and then the Omicron-specific virus. And there's good data out there that it really does help add protection. And so that's the message we're trying to get out is get this booster. And we know COVID's with us to stay. It's likely going to mutate again, and that gives you one more step in staying ahead of it.
Great questions. Yes, ma'am. What's your name? I'm sorry. Your name? Okay.
So I think, and tell me if I'm answering this question the way that you're intending it. I think it's how much more protection is that bivalent booster. It's actually a significant amount, and particularly if it's been a while since you've had a booster, or and so if it's been, the data is more than 8 months, but even more than a couple of months, 30 to 50% additional protection. So it matters.
Yes. Name? Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. What's your name? Okay. Okay. We're glad to have you.
And so I wear many hats in the community and work at the power company. We had strict regulations. I remember the first year and a half, and being in management, we had to make sure that it's implemented. And now it seems like just in general in Nashville, this brought about a lot of awareness that I didn't know personally. And so we have the media here, and what the best message I've heard during these last two and a half years, 3 years, have come from y'all, honestly. And how can we what can we do? Like, is there a tagline? What can we? Because I'm going to post something on social media and it's going to go out.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Instagram page that you want us to refer to. Just how can we bring more and more awareness? I mean, the quotes that I heard today. Well, especially Javon Kerr says going out without, like you're going without a helmet.
Yeah.
That should be everywhere.
We don't advise it, you know, but no.
This is what happens when you don't play with a helmet.
This is what happened with no helmet. This happened with.
Al, can I make a
Yes.
statement here?
Yes, you can.
And thank you so much for your comment. Oh my God, that was just, I could see the mayor's office. If you're from the mayor's office, please stand up. Just stand up so everybody can see you all from the mayor's office. This is the mayor's office, right here, right here. And we're all engaged in communities of color, and those that have been probably more affected than most are people that are brown and black. And one of the things that we're doing, the initiatives, communities of color, if you would please get in, I just saw my executive assistant give you his card. Get in touch with us because we're planning as many events as we can possibly plan. So if you would email Scott and say, hey, I know where an event is going on, I would like to host an event, we'll be right on it. And the Titans, some of the Titans, 2 or 3 will show up, I think, right, Al?
Yes. Yes. Come across. So, also, I'm sorry. You were going. Gear is a hashtag. Gear Up Tennessee is a hashtag. And also, before you leave, we can get your information as well, or you can get it from Janet. I like to acknowledge Janet Marchabroda, since she has done a lot of work behind the scenes. You know, I always like seeing Janet smile. So when you guys clap, let's give her another round. And any of us afterwards, you get our information, what have you, mine or the ladies of Janet or what have you, and we can get you, tied in on the alumni side as well. But I just don't want to take up all the time because we knew we were going to be here afterwards as well. But grab us before you leave. Yes.
You can also look at our Facebook, Instagram accounts. It's going to be mainstreamed on there. So
Yeah.
you can retweet it, repost it.
Yeah, each of our names.
My son's room, he has this big, gigantic poster of you.
Well, your son's not the only one. We're all going to go get that poster too. But thank you very much. Tony, I think you had a question.
Good morning. Thank you, guys. Tony Thompson, the college coach at Ballard State Community. I've got 6 shots. We had to do that during the process of 2019 as a college coach. Couldn't come in the gym. It was actually more difficult for me to get to practice than it was to get into St. Thomas and down to the hospital.
Wow.
So, and I got a story similar to my frat brother over here in Vihar, and that is, I got a mom at home with dementia. So it's hard, and she ended up catching second stage pneumonia from just eating food and not being able to swallow properly. And then in the process, last year ended up catching and having COVID. So it was very touch and go. We almost like lost her. So to make sure the family got everything we had to get, we made sure we try to get everyone. Of course, you're gonna have a few that's gonna fight you. But my question to Dr. McDonald is, does it make a difference, Pfizer and Moderna? Because what I'm finding out, I'm sending people out to get the shots, and you can't, I ended up getting Moderna, and it worked well with me. I didn't have problems, pains, none of that. So does it make a difference if you've had a Pfizer shot, and then now the only thing available is Moderna, or vice versa?
Totally fine. So Pfizer, Moderna, what we're looking for is all the way completion of that bivalent booster.
Dr. McDonald, what is the difference between getting vaccinated for, say, like chicken pox when you're a kid versus the flu vaccine that you have to get regularly every year? Is this something that you can take one time and you're good, or do you have to keep getting the vaccination annually? What's the best way?
So we're obviously following a lot of data on that. And with childhood vaccinations, we know that those initial shots are incredibly important, and that's another campaign that we're launching as well, because we know that we've lost ground some there as well. But as folks get older, you keep a lot of that immunity, and then sometimes need a booster to maintain that immunity. The other factor there, particularly with the influenza vaccine, is changing virus, and every year changing virus. And so that's part of our push for the bivalent booster too, is changing virus. So we're tracking that pretty closely.
So as of today, you think we will be boosted for the near future for the rest of our lives? I don't want to put you on a limb like that.
I think
We'll be boosted for the next 3 to 5 years.
we'll have to see. And it's an rapidly evolving science, and so that's the importance of maintaining a strong public health infrastructure to be able to track any changes in the virus, and to make sure that we're tracking efficacy of the vaccine as well.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, that comes to the conclusion of our program. If you guys want any particular questions for individual guys, or media want to ask questions to any of our other ambassadors on the side, please feel free to do so. And again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. It's definitely a pleasure. It's a blessing to have everyone. And before you go out, let's just gear up and take care of Tennessee. We appreciate you.